Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Anuja Kumar and with me is Aditi Lumba with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates and lays foundation stone of 23 projects worth over 17,500 crore rupees at Haldwani in Uttarakhand, says present decade belongs to Uttarakhand. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman chairs pre-budget consultations with finance ministers of states and union territories for Union Budget 2022-23 in New Delhi. GST Council to meet tomorrow to discuss important agenda including report of the panel of state ministers on rate rationalization. Election Commission reviews poll preparedness for assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh, assures free and fair elections along with strict adherence to COVID guidelines. Health Ministry highlights need for heightened vigil in view of sharp increase in COVID cases. Over 143 crore 83 lakh doses of COVID vaccine administered across the country. 961 cases of Omicron reported in the country so far. Centre approves over 3,063 crore rupees of additional central assistance to Assam, Gujarat, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Uttarakhand and West Bengal for measures relating to national calamities. And in cricket, India beats South Africa by 113 runs in first cricket test to take 1-0 lead in the three-match series. As India marches towards administering 150 crore vaccine doses against COVID-19, news about the new corona variant is of cause for concern. In this situation, we appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and help others get vaccinated. Please continue to follow these 3 simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated and laid foundation of 23 projects worth 17,500 crore rupees at Haldwani in Uttarakhand today. These projects cover a wide array of sectors and areas across the state, including irrigation, road, housing, health infrastructure, industry, sanitation and drinking water supply. The projects included laying the foundation stone of AIIMS, All India Institute of Medical Sciences in Haldwani, Lakwar Multi-Purpose Project, a hydropower facility in Pithoragarh, multiple road projects across the state under the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana and strategically important Tanakpur-Bidhoragarh road project to improve the connectivity of Kailash Mansarovar Yatra, among others. The Prime Minister also laid the foundation stone of Aroma Park at Kashipur and Plastic Industrial Park at Sitarganj. In line with the Prime Minister's endeavour to expand the medical infrastructure of the state and provide world-class medical facilities in different parts of the country, the foundation stones of AIIMS, Rishikesh Satellite Centre at Udham Singh Nagar and Jagjeevan Ram Government Medical College at Pithoragarh were also laid. The improved medical infrastructure will not only help Kumaon and Terai regions but also the bordering areas of Uttar Pradesh. In line with the vision to improve connectivity at far-flung places of the country, inauguration and foundation stone laying of multiple road sector projects worth about 8,700 crore rupees was also done on this occasion. These road projects will improve connectivity between Garhwal, Kumaon and Terai region. It will also improve connectivity between Uttarakhand and Nepal. Improved connectivity will also benefit industrial areas in Rudrapur and Lal Kuan, besides improving the accessibility of Jim Corbett National Park. Addressing the gathering, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that he was privileged to visit Kumaon and his earlier memories of visiting the region have been refreshed. He said the current double-engine government is focusing on the development of the state. The Prime Minister said that the present decade belongs to Uttarakhand.
अब हल्द्वानी में पानी, सीवरेज, सड़क, पार्किंग, स्ट्रीट लाइट सभी जगह पर अभूतपूर्व सुधार होगा। इस दशक को उत्तराखंड का दशक बनाने के लिए तेज गति से ऐसे ही विकास कार्यों पर अनेक काम करने की जरूरत पर हमने जोर दिया है। और जब मैं कहता हूं कि उत्तराखंड का दशक है तो ऐसे ही नहीं कह रहा हूं। ये जब मैं कह रहा हूं तो उसकी बहुत सारी वजह उत्तराखंड के लोगों का सामर्थ्य इस दशक को उत्तराखंड का दशक बनाएगा, ये मेरा पक्का विश्वास।
Targeting the opposition, Mr. Modi said earlier governments ignored the developmental needs of the state and of the people of the state.
यहाँ के सैकड़ों गांवों की कितनी पीढ़ियां अच्छी सड़कों के अभाव में, अच्छी सुविधाओं के अभाव में ये हमारा प्यारा उत्तराखंड छोड़ करके कहीं और जाकर के बस गए। आज मुझे संतोष है कि उत्तराखंड के लोग उनका कच्चा चिट्ठा खोल चुके हैं, उनका सच जान चुके हैं।
The Prime Minister said the work of the Lakhwar project, which has started here in Uttarakhand today, has the same history. He said the project was first thought of in 1976. Shri Modi said today, after 46 years, our government has laid the foundation stone for its work. He said the central government has also set up India's largest optical telescope at Devasthal in Nainital. He said we are also engaged in a mission from Gangotri to Ganga Sagar. The Prime Minister said the nation has not forgotten the brave mothers of Kumaon who dedicated their children to the defense of the nation. He announced that just like Rishikesh Karnprayag railway line, Tanakpur-Bageshwar railway line will also be constructed soon. Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami thanked the Prime Minister for the developmental works.
Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman chaired the pre-budget consultations with the Finance Minister of States and Union Territories for Union Budget 2022-23 in New Delhi today. The meeting was attended by Union Minister of State for Finance, Chief Ministers, Deputy Chief Ministers, Finance Ministers, Ministers and senior officers from the states and Union Territories and the Union Government. The GST Council will meet tomorrow, and one of the agenda of the meeting is to discuss the report of the panel of state ministers on rate rationalization. This will be a meeting in person which will also discuss correction in duty inversion in certain goods.
The Centre has notified rules for consumer protection jurisdiction of the District Commission, the State Commission and the National Commission Rules 2021. The revised pecuniary jurisdiction for entertaining consumer complaints shall be up to 50 lakh rupees for district commissions, more than 50 lakh to 2 crore rupees for state commissions and more than 2 crore rupees for National Commission. The Consumer Protection Act 2019 promulgates a 3-tier quasi-judicial mechanism for redressal of consumer disputes, namely district commissions, state commissions and National Commission. The Directorate General of GST Intelligence, DGGI, today refuted speculative media reports in connection with seizure of huge stash of cash from Kanpur-based businessman Piyush Jain. It has termed as purely speculative and without any basis the media reports which claim that DGGI has decided to treat the cash recovered as the turnover of Jain's company. It also rejected the media reports that Jain, with the approval of DGGI, deposited a total amount of 52 crore rupees as tax dues. It clarified that the total amount of cash in the ongoing case from the residential and factory premises of Piyush Jain has been kept as case property in the safe custody of the State Bank of India.
The Election Commission reviewed poll preparedness for assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh and assured that free and fair elections will be conducted in the state with strict adherence to the COVID guidelines. The Commission also said that all political parties want elections to be held on time in the state.
भारत निर्वाचन आयोग का हमेशा मानना है कि मतदाताओं के बाद राजनीतिक दल चुनाव प्रक्रिया के महत्वपूर्ण स्टेक होल्डर हैं। आयोग ने राजनीतिक दल के प्रतिनिधियों को आश्वासन भी दिया है कि हमारा प्रयास स्वतंत्र, निष्पक्ष, सहभागी, प्रलोभन युक्त और कोविड सेफ चुनाव कराने का है, इंक्लूसिव एंड एक्सेसिबल इलेक्शंस, सो दैट हमारा जो मोटो है दैट नो वोटर शुड बी लेफ्ट बिहाइंड एंड कमीशन विल डू ईच एंड एवरी पॉसिबल एक्ट फॉर दैट पर्टिकुलर डायरेक्शन.
The full Election Commission, led by Chief Election Commissioner Sushil Chandra, had discussions with different stakeholders, including representatives of political parties, state government, election officials, and DGP and Chief Secretary of Uttar Pradesh for last 3 days to review the preparedness for assembly elections in state. Information and Broadcasting Minister and BJP's co-in charge for upcoming assembly elections, Anurag Singh Thakur reached Lucknow this evening to take part in different programs. On his arrival, he said the huge crowd coming in Jan Vishwas rallies of BJP clearly indicates that the people of state want Yogi government again.
लोग चाहते हैं भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ जैसे मुहिम चली वैसे ही चलती रहे। उत्तर प्रदेश का चहुमुखी विकास जो भाजपा की सरकार में हुआ वैसे ही आगे हो। इसीलिए जन आशीर्वाद यात्राओं में आपने देखा होगा कि 6 की 6 यात्राओं में रिकॉर्ड भीड़ आ रही है। ये लोग अपना आशीर्वाद देने आ रहे हैं, समर्थन देने आ रहे हैं और ये विश्वास दिलाता है कि एक बार फिर मोदी जी, योगी जी उत्तर प्रदेश को आगे ले जाएंगे सरकार में।
This is All India Radio giving you the news.
जब भाइयों बहनों सरकार की नीयत साफ होती है, सोच ईमानदार होती है, तो काम भी दमदार होता है।
पिछले 4.5 सालों में उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार की ईमानदार सोच और दमदार काम से यूपी बन रहा है नंबर 1। यूपी में विकास होता रहेगा लगातार। सोच ईमानदार, काम दमदार। 2017 से पहले जो लड़के हैं गलती हो जाती है बोलकर छूट जाते थे। 2017 के बाद उन अपराधियों पर होती है कार्यवाही। 2017 से पहले भैंस ढूंढने वाली पुलिस 2017 के बाद अपराधियों को काबू करती है। फर्क साफ है।
Do you want to fly high, to reach out to the skies? Do you feel proud to wear the uniform? Then join the Indian Air Force.
Applications open from 1st December 2021. To apply online, log in to careerindianairforce.cdac.in.
Welcome back. The Health Ministry today said the country has been reporting 10,000 daily cases since the 26th of December and highlighted the need for heightened vigil in view of sharp increase in cases. Briefing media in Delhi, Joint Secretary in the Health Ministry Love Agarwal said 961 Omicron variant cases have been reported in India till date.
26 दिसंबर ऑनवर्ड्स हमने केसेस में 10,000 से अधिक केसेस की संख्या नोट की है। इस कारण से हम सबको यही रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहेंगे कि जिस तरह से शार्प इंक्रीज पिछले 3-4 दिनों में नोट किया गया है, उसके तहत एक विजिलेंस की बहुत जरूरत है ताकि हम ओवरऑल अपने देश में इन्फेक्शन के स्प्रेड को रोक सकें।
Out of this, 320 recoveries have been reported. Mr. Agarwal said approximately 90% of the adult population in India has been vaccinated against COVID with the first dose. ICMR Director General Dr. Balram Bhargav said all COVID vaccines, whether they are from India, Israel, US, Europe, UK or China, are primarily disease-modifying.
All COVID vaccines, whether it be from India, from Israel, from USA, from Europe, from UK or China, all these vaccines are primarily disease modifying. They do not prevent infection. So they are not infection preventing. So precautionary dose is primarily to mitigate 3 things. 1, severity of infections. 2, hospitalization and death.
Dr. V.K. Paul, member Niti Aayog, said that mask is very important to prevent the spread of infection.
All variants enter through the same route, and that route can be blocked by wearing a mask. The mask will not get out of fashion. Mask remains the final frontier in the face of this variant. In addition to the vaccine protection that you have inside your body, but the virus is an external agent and it has to pass through the barrier of the mask, and that makes it even more difficult. In addition to be prepared internally to fight this virus. So mask, even more important today.
The union government has said a total of 961 cases of COVID variant Omicron have been reported so far in the country. Out of these total cases, 320 patients have already recovered and migrated. The maximum number of 263 cases were reported from Delhi, followed by Maharashtra and Gujarat. Omicron cases have been reported in 22 states and union territories. The Health and Family Welfare Ministry today said over 143 crore 83 lakh doses of COVID vaccine have been administered in the country under the nationwide vaccination drive. The ministry said more than 63 lakh 91,000 COVID vaccine doses were administered in the last 24 hours. 7,486 COVID patients have recovered during the same period, and the national recovery rate stands at 98.38%. Night curfew will be imposed in Kerala from tonight in view of the increasing cases of Omicron variant of COVID-19 in the state. The night curfew will be in force from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. and will continue to the 2nd of January.
A high-level meeting under the chairmanship of Home Minister Amit Shah has approved over 3,063 crore rupees of additional central assistance to 6 states. Assam, Gujarat, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Uttarakhand and West Bengal will get funds for floods, landslides and cyclones that occur during this year. You're listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates and lays foundation stone of 23 projects worth over 17,500 crore rupees at Haldwani in Uttarakhand, says present decade belongs to Uttarakhand. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman chairs pre-budget consultations with finance ministers of states and union territories for Union Budget 2022-23 in New Delhi. GST Council to meet tomorrow to discuss important agenda, including report of the panel of state ministers on rate rationalization. Election Commission reviews poll preparedness for assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh, assures free and fair elections along with strict adherence to COVID guidelines. Health Ministry highlights need for heightened vigil in view of sharp increase in COVID cases. Over 143 crore 83 lakh doses of COVID vaccine administered across the country. 961 cases of Omicron reported in the country so far. Centre approves over 3,063 crore rupees of additional central assistance to Assam, Gujarat, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Uttarakhand and West Bengal for measures relating to national calamities. And in cricket, India beat South Africa by 113 runs in first cricket test to take lead by 1-0 in the 3-match series. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
The News Services Division of All India Radio presents 2021, the year that was. Let us take a look at the notable events and developments in the year. From politics to sports, business to global affairs, what made headlines in the year gone by? To know more, join us on 30th December on FM Gold Channel 100.1 MHz and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. This program will also be available on our website, newsonair.nic.in, and on our YouTube channel, News on AIR Official.
Welcome back to the evening news on All India Radio. Minority Affairs Minister Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi has said that more than 700 artisans, craftsmen from over 30 states and union territories of the country participated in the 35th edition of Hunar Haat organized at Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in New Delhi with the theme Vocal for Local and Swadeshi Se Swavalamban. He announced, keeping in view a large number of people visiting the Hunar Haat, it has been decided to conclude the Hunar Haat by tomorrow afternoon. This Hunar Haat was scheduled to be concluded on the 5th of next month. And now let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
On the 30th of December 1943,
Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose hoisted the national flag for the first time at the Gymkhana ground, now known as Netaji Stadium in Port Blair, and announced the islands to be the first Indian territory freed from British rule.
तूफान हिंद लाएंगे, वो शान हिंद लाएंगे, फिरंगियों की कौम पर वो कहर बन के छाएंगे, सुभाष जी वो जाने हिंद।
Netaji named Andaman Islands as Shaheed and Nicobar Islands as Swaraj, and appointed INA General A.D. Loganathan as the governor of the islands. The Azad Hind government was no more only a government in exile, but had its own land, own currency, civil code and stamps.
We also remember Jaintia freedom fighter U Kiang Nangba, who was martyred on December the 30th, 1862. U Kiang Nangba was born in Jovai, and unlike other freedom fighters of the region, he had no royal background and was a common farmer. Though he was only a child when the British annexed the Jaintia kingdom in 1835, he was greatly disturbed by the discriminatory policies of the Britishers. The British initially adopted a policy of least interference and left the Jaintia people almost entirely to themselves for a period of more than 2 decades. However, by 1860, they started increasing the tax burden on the Jaintias, which created a turmoil amongst them. Jaintias rose up in a fierce rebellion in 1862 under the leadership of young U Kiang Nangba. Nangba emerged as a great organizer and kept his identity a secret to avoid arrest.
He managed to outwit the British intelligence service and started gathering all the Dolois and Sirdars without causing any suspicion. However, the Jaintias were ultimately defeated because of the superior might of the British. In the unequal fight that ensued, hundreds of Jaintias were killed and U Kiang Nangba was betrayed, captured and hanged publicly on December the 30th, 1862. We salute the great freedom fighter.
We also remember freedom fighter and educationist Kanhaiyalal Maniklal Munshi, who was born on the 30th of December 1887 in Bharuch, Gujarat. He is the founder of the renowned educational institution Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan in 1938 with the blessings of Mahatma Gandhi.
Munshi was a good student and topped his BA and LLB exams. He was influenced by revolutionary leader Sri Aurobindo Ghosh to join the freedom struggle. While practicing law in Bombay, he joined Annie Besant's Home Rule League and met many leading freedom fighters of the time, such as Surendranath Banerjee and Mahatma Gandhi.
In 1927, he was elected to the Bombay Legislative Assembly, but after the Bardoli Satyagraha, he resigned under the influence of Mahatma Gandhi. He also participated in the civil disobedience movement and was imprisoned twice. Munshi was elected again in 1937 Bombay presidency elections and became the Home Minister of the Bombay Presidency and helped suppress the communal riots in the
Member of the Constituent Assembly of India and worked with several committees, including the Drafting Committee, Advisory Committee, Subcommittee on Fundamental Rights, and the Ad Hoc Flag Committee that selected the flag of India in August 1947.
Till his death in 1971, Munshi remained committed to the nation. We salute this great patriot.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase Hallmark gold jewelry. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline's toll-free number 14404. Issued in public interest by Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India, Jago Grahak Jago. In news just in, India's COVID vaccination coverage has crossed 144 crore 45 lakh landmark milestone today. More than 59 lakh vaccine doses have been administered till 7 p.m.
Sahitya Academy has announced its annual Sahitya Academy Awards in 20 languages today. 7 books of poetry, 2 novels, 5 short stories, 2 plays, 1 biography, 1 autobiography, 1 critic and 1 epic poetry have won the Sahitya Academy Awards 2021. Awards in Gujarati, Maithili, Manipuri and Urdu languages will be announced at a later date. To ease overcrowding on New Year's Eve tomorrow, the exit from Rajiv Chowk Metro Station in the national capital will not be allowed from 9 p.m. onwards. However, entry of passengers will be allowed till the departure of the last train from the station. The DMRC has urged commuters to plan their journey accordingly. External Affairs Ministry today said Arunachal Pradesh has always been and will always be an integral part of India. Responding to media queries on reports that China has renamed some places in Arunachal Pradesh in its own language, Ministry spokesman Arindam Bagchi said assigning invented names to places in Arunachal Pradesh does not alter this fact. He said this is not the first time China has attempted such a renaming of places in the state. China had also sought to assign such names in April 2017.
India beat South Africa by 113 runs in first cricket test to take a 1-0 lead in the 3-match series. Setting a stiff target of 305 runs, South Africa were bowled out for 191 on the 5th and the final day of the opening test today at Centurion. The second test between the two countries will be played from 3rd to 7th of January at the Wanderers Stadium, Johannesburg. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital Delhi will have a cold wave. Minimum temperature will be 4 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 20 degrees. In Mumbai, minimum temperature will be 20 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 30 degrees. City is expected to have mainly clear sky. Chennai will have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Temperature will vary between 24 and 31 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have moderate fog. City will observe a minimum temperature of 15 degrees Celsius and a maximum of around 20 degrees. Srinagar and Jammu will have mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Leh, Gilgit and Muzaffarabad is likely to have partly cloudy sky. Visakhapatnam and Thiruvananthapuram will have a partly cloudy sky with haze. Hyderabad will have fog or mist would occur in early morning. In Puducherry, sky will be generally cloudy with moderate rain. Guwahati, Imphal, Shillong, Kohima and Itanagar will have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. And Gangtok, Agartala, Aizawl will have a partly cloudy sky with haze. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates and lays foundation stone of 23 projects worth over 17,500 crore rupees at Haldwani in Uttarakhand. Says, present decade belongs to Uttarakhand. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman chairs pre-budget consultations with finance ministers of states and union territories for Union Budget 2022-23 in New Delhi. GST Council to meet tomorrow to discuss important agenda including report of the panel of state ministers on rate rationalization. Election Commission reviews poll preparedness for assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh, assures free and fair elections along with strict adherence to COVID guidelines. Health Ministry highlights need for heightened vigil in view of sharp increase in COVID cases. Over 144 crore 45 lakh doses of COVID vaccines administered across the country. 961 cases of Omicron reported in the country so far. Centre approves over 3,063 crore rupees of additional central assistance to Assam, Gujarat, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Uttarakhand and West Bengal for measures relating to national calamities. And in cricket, India beats South Africa by 113 runs in first cricket test to take 1-0 lead in the 3-match series. And with that we end the evening news. Good night.